I've been working with multi-FX processors for many years, and I finally figured out something about them that I never really understood before, but now it's crystal clear, and I know what you have to do to make them work with a half stack or an amp. You have to get the master volume fairly low. This one's at 25, as you can tell. Master level, 25. Okay? That's about the highest you can go and get a decent signal. Problem is, if you try to plug that directly into a power amp and then into your speaker cabinet, right, it's not enough level, okay? It won't actually drive the power amp and the speakers loud enough. It should, but it doesn't, okay? And if you try to go higher with the master volume, it sounds like crap. So you got to figure something out. What do you got to do? Well, the greatest solution I've ever got to just getting incredible tone from one of these boxes, there's several tricks here, but the most important one is right here. It's called the Audio Buddy, okay? It's a great piece of gear made by M Audio. They're cheap. It's a microphone preamp, okay? What this thing does is it gets that low-level line input signal and then boosts it with an actual preamp that's way higher quality than the IC one built into the effects pedal, okay? It's also stereo, so if you have a stereo cab, which is very important for this whole setup, it's actually really important, you're good, okay? Now right here is a discontinued piece of gear from BBE. It's the 282 XL, which is all in and out with the XLRs, which goes great into a power amp, right? It's just exactly the right level. This thing can take incredibly high preamp levels, okay? Which comes after the Audio Buddy. So I'm plugging in directly from the pedals into 1/4 inch, which it does, and then it up converts to TRS in the back. That's really hard to see. The light isn't very good. And that goes over to the input of the BBE. The BBE can take the preamp levels after, so you get that really good sonic maximized post sound, okay? And then that goes directly into the power amp. All right. So this is on the power amp side. You need to have a decent preamp, decent clean, crystal clean preamp that broadcasts exactly what you want and not have heated up signal going into it. You have a fairly cool signal. And that goes in to get the sonic maximized and then goes into the power amp, okay? Left and right, okay? What makes the signals different from each other, left and right, is coming out of the RP500, it goes into a slightly scooped equalizer. The trick with this setting here is notice the furthest bass slider is down a little bit and the next one's up. You actually want to cut a little bit of the bass and make the scooped tone a little bit more tight. You don't want a lot of really low end, like 100, that's 100 hertz. You don't want that. You want the other side that's not processed to be bringing that kind of tone. The reason why is you get this thing called live multi-tracking when you get both of them together, okay? I'll play that in a second. What I got is a Dimebag preset, which obviously I don't play as good as Dimebag at all, but the thing about this Dimebag setting is that it's got the RG100 amp and then the tube screamer in front of it with low distortion and high volume. And then what it's got, the trick that's interesting is it's got a detuner, which is what he used a lot. He used the detuner, but he used the detuner pre, not post. So it would separate two separate amps. So I put it at like minus 12, and then I did it about 40% mix out of 99, 40 out of 99. So it's kind of simulates it being detuned on one side and not on the other, because he always had 2 amps, which is what I'm doing here, 2 amps. One's scooped, the other one's less scooped, because it doesn't have an EQ on it, okay? A little bit of room reverb, that's about it. Doing solos and shit like that, you click on the delay, which is right there. You get the reverb, and then you get the delay. That's not on right now. But I'll play a little something to see if it sounds anything like Dimebag, which my playing doesn't, but the tone is pretty close. So here we go. the two tones. So this is the non-scoop, non-EQ tone. And that's the scoop tone. Non-scoop. Together. Just scoop. So the key here is to get really good artificial harmonics, really good palm muting. You just can't rely on the multi-effects unit itself. Plus, a lot of them don't get loud enough, and even if they do, it starts getting weird, brittle, and like quote-unquote digital sounding, as people say. So really, the way around that is extremely low volume coming out, 25 at the most, out of the effects unit, and then slowly gain staging your way up through a stereo preamp with two separate signals going into it, a BBE, and then the QSC power amp, and you're good to go into a cabinet. So that's how you get live multi-tracking. That's how you get really, really, really high quality tone. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope this gets somewhere and people get something out of it. Thank you.